Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Black Millennial Wife. I'm Jet.
And I'm Avis. So we are going to go right into our Black business highlights. So the business that I would like to mention is Ninth and Maxwell. So they are a luxury nail polish company. I ordered two polishes. So it's like a green and like a brown. Since it is the fall, winter, I like a nice chocolate brown on nice brown skin. If you've never done it, try it, sister, because it's real cute. I did my nails and I did one green so y'all can see. That's not my typical, but just as an example, okay? And so I really love what they had. They have tons of colors. Their website is Ninth, like the number 9, THMXwell.com. They have like cream colors, pearl and shimmers, and holographic and glitter. So that ain't really my thing. But if you like the glittery kind of shimmery nail polish, they have some really pretty colors. You can catch them on their Instagram as well. But high quality, okay? When I tell you just the package, like this is some glass, like this ain't no joke. This is really, really nice. And it's really like a nice thick nail polish. So if you do your nails yourself, which I do, it's like a gel polish almost without the need for like a UV lamp or something. And it's long lasting. So like I put acrylic on my nails and then I put the polish on top of it because I didn't like the acrylic powder that I used. And it's been on for like a week. No chipping, like nothing. So Ninth and Maxwell, check them out. They're wonderful. Black owned company.
That's what's up. I love a good nail polish because it is so disappointing when you buy nail polish and it lasts for a day because that's the typical.
Mhm.
All right, so I would like to highlight YouGoNatural.com. So take a look at my headband. Looks like a typical headband, right? Well, first of all, of course, it's Black owned, so it's not typical. Second of all, the most important piece is that it is lined with satin.
Oh, okay.
I said it, satin. So, sis, if you are in the mood to protect your edges and make sure that things are not rubbing up against them and making them thin, check out YouGoNatural.com. So they don't only have headbands, they have the full head wraps that you can tie. They have African prints, they have solid prints, they have turbans, they have all different types of head wraps, and they are so beautiful. It is such good quality. It's thick, and it also does not slide back. I think that was the biggest concern for me, as if I was going to get something that had satin. Yes, great, it's going to protect my hair, but I also don't want to be like readjusting and pulling it forward all day because that's just annoying. So nobody likes that. But this, like, I've worn it all day long. It does not slide back. It's nice and snug on my head without making it feel like it's giving me a headache. I mean, it's literally the ideal headband. So I would definitely recommend that if you're the girl who likes to wear different types of head wraps, turbans, headbands, things like that. Stop going to Target to buy your headbands and check out YouGoNatural.com. All right, so the 7-day intimacy challenge. We're gonna check in, see how it went. I would like to hear you, Avis. How did the 7-day intimacy challenge go for you?
So it went. Uh, it was good. I will say that it was harder, I think, than I thought it was gonna be. And I co-created it with you. So the fact that I thought it was harder than but I did pretty good. There were some things that I let slide. Like I did not participate in that on that day, but I tried to be intentional about like the text messages. I tried to be intentional about the gift. I am still in the process of writing the love letter, so he hasn't received that yet, but I'm gonna do it. Like going to finish it and give it to him. But I think that because I'm so direct, right, with my communication, I think I dropped nuggets along the way for him that I was being very intentional. Like I was trying to be very intentional. And so I would say, hey, like I'm trying to connect with you. Like, come on, connect. Like, open up and connect with me back. Okay. And so he thought that was funny. But I think it went really well. I am gonna give it another shot and do it all the way, like give it 100%, you know what I mean? But and I do think I know that I've seen a positive like reaction from him. Like the first day where we sent the text message, and I already told Jet about this, but the first day when we sent the text message, we were supposed to send something sweet, right? So not necessarily sexual or anything like that, but just something sweet. And I just sent him a text. I said, hey, you know, I appreciate the sacrifice that you make for our family. And his response was, did you mean that for me? And I said, yeah, who else would I be talking to? And he was like, oh, are you sure? Like, that's weird. And I was like, it's not weird. I'm trying to be sweet. So let me be sweet and quit being weird about it yourself. And so that just let me know that, like, I don't do it enough, because when I do it, he's like, oh, did you mean to send that to me? Who would I be sending it to? Who else is sacrificing for our family? I don't have no sugar daddy on the side. So it's all you, bro. And so that just opened my eyes to the fact that I need to be more intentional. But I have seen a growth in our intimacy. And I think more importantly, a growth in my willingness to set myself aside and what I want and what I feel like doing aside to give him what I know that he needs to maintain our intimacy and our connection.
Do you think that because you are not such an emotional person, that played a role in, because a lot of it was expressing emotions. Do you think that played a role in making some of the challenges more difficult for you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. None of that stuff was natural. None of it, except for like the cooking for you, like that kind of like that kind of care. And that's another thing. I was thinking about it after the challenge. Like, I think I have fallen into the habit of believing that caring for my husband means caring for my household, right?
Mm,
So that's what's natural to me. Cooking, like cleaning, like making sure you good, like that kind of stuff, like making sure our home is peaceful in the type of environment that like he can relax in, like, but that's not caring for him directly. That's caring for him indirectly. And so my natural ability to do that didn't really serve me well in this challenge, because that's not really what it was. It was more of that verbal confirmation, like that verbal, not even maybe like the physical, like the tangible confirmation, like the touching, like that kind of stuff. And so the fact that I'm not naturally like that was difficult. And my husband is very direct, like he's very logical as well. So two logical, direct people, like a lot of the times we don't make room for like the romantic stuff, like the mushy stuff, like the stuff that I laugh at you for doing. Like, we don't make room for those things, because we are really about fact and logic and what makes sense, and all that extra stuff sometimes don't make sense.
right. I totally understand that. That makes me think of, I have a friend, and one of her love languages is quality time. And she's mentioned before, like in just conversations that we would have as two couples, that her husband will say, oh, well, we go on walks as a family. Oh, well, we do this as a family, and blah, blah, blah. And her response will be, well, that's quality time with the family. That's not necessarily quality time with me as your wife. And so she will express that, like, that she feels like that area of their marriage is lacking, and that is not being met, because he, like you said, will think of quality time as a whole, as a family, as fulfilling that desire for her, when in actuality it doesn't. And I think that's a very wise thing to point out, is that we have to differentiate doing things for our home and our family versus doing things and caring for our spouse in whatever way that may be. I will say that I was very successful at the 7-day challenge. I was not perfect by any means, but I think overall, I felt very successful at it. And I will tell the people, my husband did know that it was happening, and that was just by default from him being around when I've had to post a video or, things like that. So he knew that it was happening. But he didn't know what to expect. So when I did do things, it was a surprise to him, but he did understand that I was doing it in that moment because of the 7-day challenge, which I wish that wasn't the case, but there's nothing I could have done about that. But nonetheless, I think overall I was successful, and I do feel like it did help. So we recapped at the end, and I basically asked him, do you feel like the things that I did during this 7-day challenge were extremely different from my everyday behavior, kind of different, or not different at all? Meaning I do this all the time. This is nothing out of the ordinary. And so he, you're gonna judge me for this, but he basically said, I think it was extremely different. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, so you feel like I don't do any of this stuff on a regular basis? And he was like, no, not like on the level that you did. And I was like, but babe, I do this, and this. So you feel like not-
Why you do that? He gave you his answer, and now you trying to pick apart the answer and tell him what you do. Go ahead.
I knew you were going to judge me. But I felt like in the 3 levels that I gave him versus I felt at least it was kind of different, not completely different, because I write him notes. I mean, I did do things because he did mention like getting the coffee for him and having that ready. Like it was just in the kitchen because I had to leave for work. But like things like that, I don't necessarily do. Random gifts for him, not necessarily. So like I felt there were little things that I may not do often, but overall I felt like it was just kind of different. So I didn't like that answer.
No, but okay, it makes, see, I think the thing is they were more impactful for him.
Yeah.
So it was little things, right, to you, like, oh, fixing his coffee, having that set out so he's ready. But that really, it seems like that meant something to him, like that hit his heart. You know what I mean? And that's good.
And I do agree with that. He did say like it made him feel special because number one, I was going to work and I'm usually always running late to work. And then number two, I did it and he knew that I didn't have to do it. It was honestly a thought of thinking of him, because it's not like I make coffee or use the Keurig at all. It's all his. So I do agree with that. It was something little that really stuck out to him that he appreciated. And I will say one of the examples in which I wasn't like as successful, the moment that we were meant to spend together when you exfoliated your lips.
Oh, the makeout session. They wrong. You say the makeout session.
The makeout session. It definitely was less than 30 seconds right before I went to bed. But, it just, the way the day fell, it just didn't work out, but I still put forth the effort in that day. It just wasn't an actual 19 makeout session.
But see, the makeout session was a thing for me too. Like I did it, and he didn't know, he didn't understand what was coming, right? Like I had to say, like, I'm trying to make out with you. So like get it together, okay? But like his interpretation, which is it's not a problem, and it's I think the way at least my man thinks, he thought I was trying to get something going. I wasn't necessarily trying to get something going. I just wanted to kiss you. That's it. And so I had to make a decision in my mind. Like, am I going to shut this down, which is what my intention was, or am I going to let things flow naturally? And I think I made the decision that better serves my husband. Okay. And so was that what I was trying to do? No. But the point was to build intimacy and not necessarily like check those things off of a list. And so that was interesting for me.
Can we share with the people what you decided to do in regards to your husband when it comes to making that decision?
Oh, yeah. So long ago, and this decision was a result of some friction in our marriage, like some very real friction in our marriage. But I've decided and have been, I would say, 98.9% successful with not denying my husband sex, like ever. So if he wants it, he asks for it, then I say yes, regardless as to how I feel, regardless as to like what I'm doing at the moment. Like, and he is very like mindful and respectful of that. So like if I'm working on something, like doing something like a task or something that I need to get done, like he don't pop up in the middle of that and say, hey, like, so he I think he knows my boundary in that. But yeah, so I just don't say no. So in not saying no, I had to explain to him because I like communication. I explained, you not gonna get, how can I word this? You're
Swinging
not
from
gonna,
the rafters.
right, you're not gonna get a Grammy worthy performance out of me all the time. Like it really is at some point just gonna be like, let's complete the task so we can go about our day with a clear mind, right? And your needs are met and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a wife. And so I don't think he was super excited, maybe because like I said that, like, because when I said that, he was just like, well, that's not gonna be fun. But like as life started to move on, he understood, like, sometimes it's just about getting it done. And so as long as I'm available and open to you to get it done, like, you got to know that that's me trying to be the wife that you need me to be. And I think that's uh done a lot for our marriage. I think that's giving him another level of like security, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be able to ask my wife for this and I'm going to know that she is going to be able to give it to me at really any given time. Now, I do have some ground rules with that. Don't catch me at certain times of the day. But aside from that, you know.
I mean, that's beautiful. Avis has definitely inspired me. I am nowhere near her level of success at that. I don't even think I've reached success at it, but it is something that is in my mind, and I will say I think about, but it's like one of those things you think about but don't act on yet. And I feel like, as time continues on, I'm going to eventually get there because it's been implanted. The seed is there, just needs to be watered, Lord Jesus. But yeah, so with regard to the intimacy challenge, I'm grateful that we did it. I think it's important for us to all those amazing TBMW family members who did it with us. I hope that it encouraged you and your spouse. I hope that it made a difference for you guys. It's definitely something that I know myself and Avis will do again at another time. And then you keep being more successful at it. So we weren't perfect by any means in all areas. And we may not be the second time, which is fine, but we're striving. And I definitely would like to do it again at a time where my husband doesn't feel like or doesn't know. And then I would also like to incorporate it in my everyday life. So it's not just a challenge, but it's literally what I do to show my husband love and appreciation for the amazing man that he is.
Yeah. So if this is your first time hearing about the 7-day intimacy challenge, just know that it came from a place where we wanted to help couples, help ourselves build and grow intimacy in our marriage. If you would like to get it and you want to do it on your own time, it's very much still available on our website, theblackmillennialwife.com. You just fill out the information, your email address and your name, and we will send that to you. And we are always still, outside of this challenge, available if you have questions about it, if you need some help on it, you need some ideas or something like that. If you need somebody to just pray for you through that process, like, we're here for that. So please feel free to DM us. You can email us at theblackmillennialwife@gmail.com. Whatever you need to do to get in contact with us, we're definitely available for that. And also be looking out for some other challenges that we are curating and creating for you and for ourselves. We definitely appreciate everyone that participated. We had a really good number of participants. We were a little nervous in the beginning because, we had never done anything like that before, but the Lord was very free in his blessings when it came to that. And so thank you to everybody that sent something in, sent in a question, emailed us. We definitely appreciate that as well.
Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this episode up with how we won at adulting this week. So we all want to be adults. We all want to grow up. And then it happens. And you're like, I literally said to my husband, what if I was able to go back and be a child again? Would you be upset about that? He was like, yeah. And I was like, bruh, I wouldn't have no worries. I would still love you because we've known each other forever. But he wasn't feeling that. So whatever. So we want to celebrate when we have won at adulting and when we're doing the best that we absolutely can. So I would like to say that I won at adulting. It was kind of me and my husband, but I got LASIK eye surgery. So your girl was usually up in this thing wearing contacts, eyes hurting, head hurting, all that stuff. But now, nothing. All 100%.
Making your eyes wide don't help us see the fact that you got LASIK surgery.
I just wanted you guys to be as close as you can to my eyeball. Okay. But it's amazing. It was a birthday gift from my husband, and I'm so very grateful for it. This is my first time putting on makeup since the surgery. So I was a little bit nervous because it did say wait 2 weeks, and it hasn't been 2 weeks. But I just put on a little bit of mascara. So it's all good. I'll sleep it off for the next week without rubbing my eyes, whatever I got to do. But yes, that's how I won at adulting. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful to God to have my vision and for it to be 2020 now.
Right on, because you were blind as a freaking bat. So I won at adulting. So for the holiday season, for Christmas, I don't buy a whole lot of gifts for a lot of people. It's about 5 people that I buy gifts for outside of like my son and my husband. But I had the goal to buy as many gifts as I could for those people from Black businesses. And I have been pretty successful. There have been a couple things that I came across that were not from Black businesses, but I have gotten like 75% of my Christmas shopping completed. Things are ordered. I haven't gotten everything in the mail just yet, but I'm moving. Like, it's getting done. So I'm just really grateful that I'm not waiting until the last minute to get people stuff. And, I'm staying within the budget is small if it's up to me, but it's a budget that my husband set up. I respect that. I'm going to do what I can to make it work. So I'm staying within budget and I'm getting it done well before Christmas. So that's how I went at adulting.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Black Millennial Wife.
Don't forget to like, share, comment. Let us know if you did the challenge, how it went for you in the comments below. If you did not do the challenge, but you're interested in doing it, let us know. Ask any questions that you may have. We just want to start that rapport with you all. Also, be on the lookout next week for our next episode. It'll be posting on Friday. So thanks, guys.